We have a special guest joining us here for this next segment. Typically, you may see his face on television talking about college football, or maybe a little bit back in the day playing on an NFL field or in Athens, Georgia for the Georgia Bulldogs. But today, David Pollack joins us actually talking about a far more important initiative that he is working with. You know, a lot of Americans will delay routine checkups, screenings, and cancer screenings. It's something we report on here at 13 News Now. It's something that has impacted David Pollack's life directly. I'll say, first of all, David, it's wonderful to meet you. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Connor, and I want to start by asking, this is a very personal issue for you. Can you tell us how the last few months have been for you and your family?
Well, thank you for joining. Thank you for having me, Connor. It's personal because, about a year and a half ago, we found out my wife has brain cancer. And, when you hear that, obviously things change. And I think it was important for us as a family to come together. And it was important for us to understand, God uses every circumstance for good. So we've walked through this journey, man. And man, how much do you learn, Connor, about cancer? How much do you learn about the different types of brain tumors and the different people that are going through different struggles? And so to watch her struggle and my family with my 17 and 15-year-old, we've had to learn a lot of new things. We've had a lot of celebrations, like right there on the screen, where she gets to celebrate walking and moving and doing things that she wasn't able to do for a while. But we're extremely thankful to people like Aflac and other places, man, that have raised money and raised awareness for people like us that got to benefit from it. And we get healing from it and drugs from it that have been so beneficial, and information, obviously, that's helped us all.
Yeah, and, David, first of all, our deepest condolences for everything that you and your family, and especially your wife, is going through. Our thoughts with you guys for this interview and beyond as you continue on this journey. When it comes to, you could have gone a number of different directions with kind of taking initiative to act on what you guys have been dealing with, and you've put a real focus on preventative care and early screenings. Why that particular topic that you focused on so heavily?
Because me and you might be having a different conversation right now, Connor, if we didn't. My wife had this ear pain, and instead of leaving it alone and waiting till it got really, really bad and it led to headaches and seizures, which is commonplace for brain tumors, we went and we got a scan. And when she got a scan, she realized she had a mass, in her head. And then we monitored that for a couple of years. And then it was 4 years later where we found out that it actually grown from the last appointment. And then we realized it was cancerous. So by doing that, man, it was so huge. We got to understand exactly what we were dealing with because we were monitoring and we knew about the growth. So listen, don't wait. Make time for your cancer screenings. Get your checkups. It matters, man. And I know you're busy. I know there's things that are going on, but these are important moments. You get one body. So let's make sure we make some time, even though we're all busy with our busy schedules.
And as you mentioned, David is here with Aflac's Check for Cancer initiative. May 5th, it is May. It's Brain Tumor Awareness Month here. David, I want to ask, for people who are watching and they just don't know where to start. They're like, yeah, I would definitely like to do that. That sounds like a smart thing to do, but I don't even know where to begin. What would you suggest?
Well, Connor, we didn't either. And I tell you this, we didn't know it was brain cancer, awareness or brain cancer month, in May a year and a half ago, right? We didn't know a lot about it, but now Aflac is making this very, very easy for all of us to understand where to go. And you can go to aflac.com, /check for cancer, and you can get all of the details. It's very, very simple. If you see a check, you can get checked out, right? And you can understand exactly what you're dealing with, where you can go, learn more, and take action. That's the biggest thing, Connor. Take action. Make some time to do your research, to do some studies, because the numbers are crazy when you find it faster, and people's lives that are changed every year that didn't even know they had something. It changed their lives, and it changed their lives for the better.
And that's, again, aflac.com /check for cancer. And they make the process easy for you, because I know that that's something I've talked to friends. We're starting to get into that age where we definitely need to pay attention to this. And a lot of guys just don't know where to begin. Aflac and Mr. Pollack making it easy for us. David, I know this is such a simple question, but it's a loaded question as well. How are you doing with everything? I know it's a long journey and there's more journey to go. You, your kids, your wife, how are you guys doing?
Well, I mean, it's interesting because that kind of depends on the day, right? Kind of like some days are better than others. But one thing you realize through this, man, like we have been given this, and my wife puts it best actually. She was like, I think God chose me because He knew I could handle it. And I'm like, man, I wish he would have chose someone else. But when you watch your spouse struggle, like it's not easy, it's not fun, and some days are really, really difficult. But man, for us, it's sticky notes all over the place, it's scripture all over the place, understanding that we're not in control, understanding that hard times come, and those hard times, man, they really make you appreciate the good times. And we've had a lot of good times the last 6, 7 months, and we're thankful for them. But that's also why we want to continue to share the message. People get checked out. When you find it early, it makes such a big difference. But we're thankful to team up with Aflac, and we're thankful to be where we're at on our journey. And we still got more learning, and we know what cancer can do because it can come back, right? Like it's an aggressive disease that affects a lot of people. And it don't discriminate, Connor. You know that too. Young, middle age, old, like it finds a lot of people that we care about and we love.
Yeah, and it's so easy to think it won't happen to you, but you will never regret going and getting things checked early. And so, David, we appreciate you being here with us. We couldn't have David Pollack on without asking you a college football question or two. We know what you're doing now is far more important, but we want to sneak one in. We're here in Hampton Roads, Virginia, Virginia Tech University, a college football power here.
Oh, yeah.
For decades and decades. They've had a bit of a tough stretch, so they bring in James Franklin, a big name hire. What do you expect to see early in this Franklin tenure for the Hokies?
Man, James Franklin, obviously, the way it ended at Penn State wasn't great, but the way he built a team at Vanderbilt was incredible. And the way he built it at Penn State when he started there, especially with what they were dealing with, I expect to come in. I expect him to reinvigorate the fan base. The commitment's been amazing. Watching the money behind it and the support behind the university. This is a university, that stadium rocks. They know exactly how good football is, and James Franklin's going to be the guy to bring some more juice back to that.
That Enter Sandman it's a built-in advantage running out that tunnel on a Thursday night. And then across the state, UVA, you speak of a financial investment. They have really grown in that regard. Made it to the ACC title game last year. Tony Elliott at the helm there, starting to see some success. It's been a long time since they were consistently relevant in college football. Do you see UVA achieving that relevance, and how come?
You're exactly right. They made a commitment. They made an investment in the program. You got to spend money to go get players nowadays. But Tony Elliott also given time, right? Like given the full 4 years, a lot of people want to fire people after one bad year or two bad years. Now you start to see Virginia trending back up the other direction. It was so good to see them last year to have success. This year, obviously, can they do it again? Can they put two really, really good years together? Disappointing finish, but remember all those dubs last year. Close wins, pulling them out, doing a great job.
And then, of course, your Georgia Bulldogs have been the dominant program of the 2020s, but they haven't yet made it through this expanded football playoff. Gunnar Stockton coming back with a lot of experience now. Are the Bulldogs going to finally get a ring from this 12-team playoff? The 4-team playoff was all theirs. What do we see from Kirby Smart and the guys this year?
They have. In the last 2 years, they won the SEC, and everybody bragged about that when I was growing up. That's all they talked about. But now it don't matter, right? Because there's 12 in the field, and winning the conference isn't as big of a deal as it used to. All we've seen from conference winners is they're 1-7, off of buys. So it's not necessarily the greatest thing, but Gunnar Stockton come back with a lot of experience, a lot of guys around him. This isn't a young team like last year. This is a very experienced team with a lot of veteran leadership, a lot of playmaking, and that's why Georgia's one of the favorites to win the national championship.
David Pollack, it's a pleasure to get to talk to you. I kind of miss the days when conference titles mattered a little bit more already. We appreciate you coming on and chatting with us. Aflac.com/check for cancer. David, the best of luck. Our thoughts and prayers with you and yours.
Thank you, Connor.
All right, that's David Pollack again, a star at the University of Georgia, an NFL football player, a college football analyst, and now taking on a challenge that will have a far greater impact than anything anyone could do on a football field or in an athletic competition. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. And, of course, May, Brain Tumor Awareness Month. So we'll continue to make sure that we raise that awareness here on Live Impact News.